All right, last problem here. We have negative 2x squared minus 4x plus 5. So we need to try to factor this. And guessing, checking, you're going to be here for a long time. So I would look at multiplying these together, which is negative 10, and then finding factors of negative 10. So 1 and 10 and 2 and 5. And is there any way you can get 4 from those? And your answer is no. So this actually cannot be factored. So it's not factorable. So basically, we're kind of left out of the dust with being able to factor it. So how else can we find our x-intercepts? Well, we can use that wonderful thing called the quadratic formula. So we know we have the x, 1 and 2, because there's 2 intercepts, is negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. All right, so then we go, factoring didn't work, so let's use our quadratic formula. So I have negative b, which in this case ends up being, so this is a, this is b, this is c, negative negative 4, right? Because b is negative, so you have negative negative 4 plus or minus the square root of negative 4 squared. Please, please make sure you're being very careful. You are squaring your negative, so in your calculator you need to put parentheses here or you will get it wrong. Then minus 4, a is negative, and c is positive 5. All over 2 times a, which is negative 2. All right, and then let's just simplify this. So negative negative 4 is positive 4, plus or minus the square root of 16, plus 4 times 2 times 5 would be 40, all over 4. Simplify it a little bit more, so 4 plus or minus the square root of 56, all over 4. We are looking to break down 56. So find two numbers that multiply together to give you 56. So that is 8 and 7. And then break down that, which is 4 and 2. So now you can see the perfect square is 4. So if you take the square root of 4, you have 2. So I have 4 plus or minus 2. And then what's left over is the 2 and the 7. So then you'd have 14. Hopefully we remember how to break down our radicals. And then we have divided by 4. If you don't remember though, please make sure you ask someone so that we can help you with this. And then you reduce your fraction. So I know that there is a 2 in everything. Please don't cancel off these 4s because you have to take it out of everything and there's not a 4 here. So you reduce them all by 2, and so your answer is 2 plus or minus the square root of 14 all over 2. And we could go ahead and estimate those answers if we wanted to and come up with decimals, and that might be helpful because we have to kind of graph it. So if I stick this into my calculator, what am I going to get here? I have 2 plus the square root of 17 divided by 2 is going to be 3.06, and I have 2 minus the square root of 17 divided by 2, and I get the other one to be negative 1.06. All right. So then I want to, so my x-intercepts are going to be 3.06. I should put comma 0. And negative 1.06, comma 0. All right, so then we have to figure out, this time it's asking me where's my function negative. So again, I'm breaking up the whole real line. So I start out at negative infinity, and I go to negative 1.06. And then I go from 0 to 0, 1.06 to 3.06. I'm going to get rid of the rest of the stuff because it's in my way. All right, and then you, so I have 06 to 3.06, and then you go from 3.06 to infinity. All right. And then you just test values. So if you have a really big negative number and you square it, it will be positive. But then you multiply it by a negative, it will end up being a really big negative number. And basically this stuff won't even matter because it's going to be, if you square a really big number, that's going to count everything else. So basically you can say that's going to be negative. If I pick a number in between here, oh good, zero's in there. I can easily put 0 in there. That's 0. 2x squared is 0. Minus 4x is 0. Plus 5 is positive 5. So that's positive. And same thing with if I pick a really big positive number. It's going to do the same thing as this end did. And so we know we are going to be looking at my y-intercept, which is 5. We know that my zeros are negative 1.6, so if this is negative 1, I'm just going to basically put it there. And 3, so 1, 2, 306, so just a little on the other side of 3. And then it's negative to start with. And then it comes to positive at the negative 1. Now make sure you realize that's not in the center. The y-intercept's not in the center. It still has a vertex. And we could put this in vertex form and find that, but that's not what our question's asking, so we will leave it that way. And then I should probably label that. That's 5, that's 3.06, and that's negative 1.06. And there's my graph. And again, we should know it's an unhappy parabola because the a was originally negative. All right, hopefully that is enough to get you started with your on your own problem. And then we will look at more of this tomorrow. Have a good night.